Hey coders, here's Sanjay Deshmukh and welcome to our coding channel MyWAY-Codezzz in English. In this React journey today we are going to see the topic that is props in the React. So without wasting much time, let's get started. Let me share my screen. So currently here we are in the VS Code editor. To get started with our props in the React, first of all we have to create one project using Wait framework. So to get started with that, click on view, then go to the terminal. Inside the terminal, first of all, like we are in the React.js. Now we have to enter into the basic folder. So type cd basic. Now we are in the basic. So to create our wait project, type the command npm create wait at the rate latest and hit enter. Then it will ask you a couple of questions. What will be the project name, what language you can choose, and many more. And make sure whenever you are giving the project name, there the naming convention mostly matters. The naming convention says whenever you are giving the project name, it should be in lowercase, not in the uppercase. Now here the project name we have to give that is in a lowercase, that I will say props in the React and hit enter. Now it will ask which language, which framework you have to go for. So I will select React. Then which language? It's JavaScript. Now our project is officially ready. Now it's time to enter into our project. To enter into our project, we have to type this command cd props in React. Here those are these commands that we have to follow. Okay, cd props in React and hit enter. Now officially we are in the props in React. Now the next command we have to give, that is a npm install. Type npm, then just write install and hit enter. Okay, this is the npm install. Now this npm installation will take much more time, so I will write back. So with that, our npm installation is done successfully. So let me clear the terminal to get started with our project. Now the project terminal is clear. Now let's run this project and by typing the command npm run dev and hit enter. Now it will show you how the project will get run, and here you have got the URL on which our project is running. I mean on which port number our project is running. Just copy this link, go to your browser and paste this link. Okay, and hit enter. Now here officially you have entered to your Wait plus React project. So it's time to play around this project by going to the VS Code editor. Let me hide the terminal. So as we are in the props in React project, so first of all we'll go to the source and we'll not require this app.css and index.css. So I will delete these two files. Okay, that's fine. Now if I come to the app.js, first of all let's go to the main.js and remove this index.css as it is no longer required. Okay, so main.js, close it. Now come to the app.js and clear this file and type rafc and hit enter. Remove this React from here and type app. If you save it and go here onto the web page, refresh this, there you will see app. Okay, so our whatever the interface after running the project, that has been gone, and here you are able to see the app. Now it's time to design the directory. Go to the source, right click and create one folder name as components. Okay, hit enter, and inside the components I will create two more files. One is a parent component .jsx, and another file name is child component .jsx. Okay, and inside this again give the rafce, remove this React, it is no longer required. Get the child component here, save it, go to the parent component, do the same thing, rafce, remove the React from here, get the parent component, type it here and save it. Okay, now the next question is, what exactly is the props is nothing but props is used to access the value from another class to the current class. For example, if you want to access the value from another class and that you want in the current class, so by using props you can get that value from that class to the current class. If we talk about a real-time example, let's take example of parent component and child component as we have taken inside the component. Okay, as you know, the child comes from the parent, and whatever the name is given to the child, that was given by the parent component. So whenever the value, I mean, whatever the value will be given to that name, that will be given by the parent. So inside the parent we will pass its value, and that same thing will get accessed by the child component. Now the next question is how child component can access that name. That we will see here in this example. That means how using props the another class can access the value of previous class. Okay, to get started with that, first of all we'll enter into the parent component. So inside the parent component, as we know, the parent component is giving the name to the child component. So for that, the child component have to be called inside the parent component. So let's do that. Close it out and let's call child component here. Okay, now here the child component automatically got imported on the top. Okay, and whatever you will write inside the child component, that will be accessible inside the parent component. As I mentioned, the parent component will give the name to the child component, so it's time for declaring the name of that child. Okay, so for that I will give the name inside the parent component. So declaring a name, we are in the parent component folder. Okay, file. So give the name, const name is equals to, let's see, my way. Okay, now the question is how this name can be accessible by the child component. So for that we have called this child component to the parent component. Okay, now this same name will pass inside the child component. How? It will be like name is equals to, and inside this I will pass the name. So that means this name now we can access inside the child component class. Now let's go to the child component class. Now here we are inside the child component class. Okay, now let's try to figure out how we can access that name inside the child component. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to pass the props inside the function. Okay, so here just type the props and get inside this div and take any of the tag name. I will take h1 tag, and inside the h1 tag I will mention hello, and I will give here the props dot name. That name can be accessible by using props dot and name. Okay, now the question is here, from where the name is coming? Here inside the child component. So go to the parent component, there we have passed the name, and that name same we have passed here inside the child component. So that's why we can access this name via props inside the child component. Okay, now if you save it and go to the web page, there you are unable to see anything. You are just seeing the app as it is. No changes happened here on the web page. The reason behind that, as this parent component should be accessible inside the app.jsx. To do that, we have to call this parent component to the app.jsx. To do that, just call this parent component here. Okay, and save it. And here you could see it got auto imported from components parent component. Okay, if you go to the web page, there you could see there you are getting the results. Hello my way. Now if you saw here hello my way, but when it comes to the child component, there you could see only the hello is written, but the my way is not written. That my way is written inside the parent component. So that's the proper example that the value from the child component, the value from the parent component is getting access to the child component via props. So this is the beauty of this props, how you can access the another value to the next class. I mean from the previous class, how you can access that value to the current class. Okay, now the value I have passed here inside the parent, and that same value is getting access to the child component. So This is how exactly the prop works. Now let's take another example from e-commerce perspective. Okay, so I will take another let's say product name. I will give the product name as t-shirt, and its price as well, const product price equals to that should be 1999. You can take any of the category name, any of the price, that's totally your choice. Okay, now it's time to call this product name and product price inside the child component. Let's do that by typing a name, not name, we will say product name is equals to product name. It's not mandatory here to write a product name. You can type title, whatever you want. Okay, now the product name I have typed here. Apart from that, the product price I have typed there, and I will take a product price. Okay, now the product price, we these three things we have passed inside the child component. Now let's try to print this product name and product price there on a web page. So to do that, here let's come to the child component and take another div. Inside that div I will take one p tag, and inside that p tag I will say product category. Okay, product category. So I will say props dot product name. Okay, here the product price. Okay, product price. Okay, now let's save it and go to the web page. There you could say product category is coming as a t-shirt and product price is coming as a 1999, and the same thing is happening here. The product category, in front of that we didn't give any of the category, we just passed the props dot product name. In front of product price, again we didn't do anything, we just passed the props dot product price, and these values are coming from parent component. So it's a better example of from e-commerce perspective that how we can access the value from previous class to the current class. That means we are accessing the value from parent component to the child component. If you again go to the web page, the same thing is happening there. Now if I try to write here in a parent component, just here I will try to write one h1 tag and will mention props in React.js course by MyWAY-Codezzz. Now that thing is also showing up here. Okay, so this is how exactly it works. Now if you try to write here something, let's say span tag, inside the span tag, thanks for watching, or I will mention like, share and subscribe. Okay, now that like, share and subscribe is coming, but here that value I have passed since. Now this tag I have passed inside the child component. As I mentioned, this child component is accessible inside the parent component, and this parent component is accessible inside the app.jsx, and that whatever is coming inside the parent component, that will be accessible inside the app.jsx, and same thing is displaying onto the web page. Because whatever the changes you will make inside the child component, that will happen inside that will be accessible inside the parent component, and that same parent component will be accessible inside the app.jsx. So that means whatever it is written inside the parent component, that same thing is getting displayed onto the web page. So this is how the props works. Here you could see the props in React.js course by MyWAY-Codezzz. Here hello MyWay is coming, then product category is coming as a t-shirt, product price is coming as 1999, like, share and subscribe is also coming. Okay, so this is how props in React works exactly. So this is how props in React works in React.js. Whenever you are designing any of the application or any of the web page, there the customer will ask you to access the value, or that customer will give you one task like to access the value from another class to the current class. So at that time you can go for props. Okay, so prop is the better way to access the value from another class to the current class. So that's it from today's video. Make sure to like, share and subscribe this channel and share it across your platforms like LinkedIn, WhatsApp group, to your uh, relatives, to your friends and everywhere. Spread this channel because here on this channel you are getting the content in to be a better coder, like not only as a junior developer, you will be act as a intermediate developer or senior developer. So to be a professional developer, follow this channel, and that's it. Until that time, bye.